What's up, people? Welcome back to the Double Wide. Come on, get happy hour. The theme tonight is rock anthems. Got two rock stars that are comedians on. It's a badass song. I just put it on Van Halen station, and that one came on. That song, "Beautiful Girls," reminds me when Colin was like 3 years old, and he was supposed to be listening to like Sesame Street and Barney and stuff, and he'd go car riding with me, and we'd come home, and mommy would think it was on the Disney station, and he would come back singing like "Beautiful Girls." Van Halen, he'd be like, "I love them, I need them." She's like, "You're not listening to the Disney station."
That's hilarious.
What's up, Sketch? Everybody, I'm talking to my producer, the brains behind the operation, Miss Judi Sketch. She's in somewhere called Canada, if that's even a real place.
I'm in Canada. Yes, I am. I am in the beautiful west coast city of Vancouver. And it is beautiful and sunny, and the whitecaps are out at the beach, and it's just a good time. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Had a little rock star party this past weekend.
I saw photos of that. I definitely had a little bit of envy. I wanted to be there.
It was like a who's who of rock stars and Hall of Famers, and Mr. Sebastian Bach there.
Yeah.
That is Mr. Warren DeMartini, I think how you say it, from Rat. My buddy Julian Jones, that's been on the show, Rockstar Chef, travels with the Foo Fighters and GNR, and some goddamn hillbilly right there. So yeah, working on a cool project I'll tell you all about. I think you know about it, but
I'm excited.
Legally, am I allowed to talk to it?
Yes, well, we'll just wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
Yeah. So I put this picture on Facebook, and I'm like, "Hey, a new boy band. Have any names?" So I got a bunch of suggestions for names. You tell me which one.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
All right.
Okay, I want to hear them.
This is so good. Instinct.
Ha.
4 dirty blondes instead of 4 non-blondes.
Right.
Okay. Uncultured club. I like that.
I like that one.
No direction. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Maybe a winner.
I think that might be the one.
No direction. No. Old dudes on the block.
Oh, okay. That's a little brother, we're out there.
Yeah. Boys to old men.
Boys. There you go.
We're old. Who said we're old? State of mind. Young at heart.
You should say middle-aged to old men. There you go.
Still immature, so that keeps me young.
There you go.
All right, so the winner is No Direction, all right?
No Direction.
Let the boys in the band know.
Album's called Anywhere But Here.
Yeah.
Brought to you by No Responsibilities Records. It's good.
We're on the road to nowhere. I should have prepared better, and I could play that right now.
That's all good. That is all good. I'm excited for this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. And the top 10 category, as you know, this week was top 10 rock anthems. It wasn't like, I think we did club jams before, like, whoop, there it is. Whoop.
Yeah.
Push it, all the ones that you got to get up. You got to, spill your drink on the way to the dance floor. But rock anthems are ones that, and you and I, DJ backgrounds, and I've got ones that always I know it's going to pack it out. I could be playing dance, hip hop, R&B, old school, whatever for 2 hours, but it comes a point in the night where you got to throw in.
He's got to flip it a little bit. Yeah. These are some good ones.
If I ever hear again, jump out of a moving car on the 405.
Oh no.
Do you ever have to play a song, a rock song that is going to pack the dance floor, but super cheesy?
I'm trying to think.
You could play more of what the hell you wanted to. I had to play.
Yeah, I was pretty much run my own thing. So what I would find is the songs that people requested a lot, to keep it fresh for me, I would just create mashups and remixes so that they would be my own creations and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can just give a little bit of it, not the whole thing. But yeah, not so much rock songs. There's like hip hop songs that I never want to play ever again. But and pop R&B songs and stuff like that. But with rock music, I've always loved it, and I always like the energy when I do drop it as a surprise.
Yeah.
How many people that you don't realize know and love the same type of music? I find it brings people together, so I like it.
It does. I think everybody loves a good anthem. one that's actually on the list, made it way up the list. And number 2, I won't give it away, but Katie and I were at the Sky Bar one night. She had some friends in town, and they're playing hip hop. They were playing, it was like early, I don't know, mid 2000s. So they're probably playing Diddy and everything. And Biggie.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, they played this one anthem, and I swear, everyone, it was like we were, what is it when everyone just comes out and starts dancing?
Oh, it's just like this whole in unison, right? Like everyone's just out
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
It's like this big, family moment. Yeah.
And we were all choreographed, which was weird because we didn't plan that. So, but anyway, that was great. But those anthems, like Moni Moni, like I'd have the dance floor packed, but it would be going 2-3 hours, and the owners would be like, okay, people aren't drinking because everyone's dancing. They're not coming. So I'd have to just slam, like, there's a couple of songs you would slam. I don't think, one of these made it on the list that I'll talk about. But Moni Moni was always one. Here she comes, and drunk people, half the ones would stay, and the other ones would be like, okay, bathroom and a Bacardi and Coke real quick.
There you go. All right.
Anyway, let's knock out some.
Down.
I put on Facebook, what's your top 10 anthems? And here's what we got. And this was one of the cheesiest ones that I had used to play and drove me crazy. Just take those old records off the shelf. Tom Cruise, Risky Business. Old time rock and roll. I love Bob Seger. I could live forever in another lifetime without hearing that one again. All right.
That song they used to play at the ice skating rink. So that song makes me think of ice skating when I was a kid.
Tom Cruise in his underwear, his tidy whities. All right. I tried to do that for Katie one night. She's like, that doesn't work. Don't do that. Anyway, so I kind of ripped you off, I think on the last one or the one before that, the top 10. You sent me your list, and I'm lazy and I already made the list. So I'm like, sorry, Sketch. Good. You didn't make the top 10 this time, but this time I'm giving you a 2 for 1. Number 9, these were both from you. Van Halen's Jump and this one right
here. That's my joint. That's a free falling. That is my summertime skate anthem.
That is a jam, and that's a good campfire jam. That's not like a gonna break some shit jam. That's just like a man.
I used to skate for hours with that song.
Skating up there, huh? You know what's coming back is roller skating, and I'm gonna get a pair of skates. You're gonna see me roller bouncing here in the next 2 weeks.
I bought some rollerblades at the start of the pandemic, so I've been having fun with those. Yeah, just play roller hockey in the backyard.
Oh, okay. You got to put some videos up of that. You just rollerblade. All right, number 8.
Okay.
Pour Some Sugar on Me. Love Me Like a Bomb. Number 1 stripper song of all time. I guarantee it. Right there.
Okay.
Going crazy, girls, tonight. Someone's dancing to Pour Some Sugar on Me. Our first guest, this was his pick. Metal Health by Quiet Riot. This guy's a big rocker guy.
Right.
Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah.
Which we had Rudy Sarzo on the show.
Yeah.
The drinking word tonight should be rock.
I think so.
All rock. We're going to rock. Rock the double wide.
I just want to rock.
Number 6.
A little GNR.
Right as we go now. Right as we go. That's right. Welcome to the jungle.
There's a few of my songs are on this list tonight. Okay.
What's that?
A few of my songs are on this list tonight.
All right. See, making up for the way I dissed you 2 weeks ago. Making up for it. Little AC/DC. I could have put 5 AC/DC songs on here, but we'll stick to one. Shook Me All Night Long.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Everybody sings the chorus on that one.
Yeah.
And the next band, it could have been 2. So it's kind of a 2 for. I got more votes for Freebird, but that's kind of a joke. People just yell that at concerts, Freebird. Right. But that's not really like, you can't sing along, but this one can't. Sweet Home Alabama.
Right.
Yeah. All right, that one everybody sings along to. Okay. Kiss. This song always reminds me of Katie, my wife's 40th birthday party, because Mark Holt, our friend, he put an all-star band together and they rocked out a little Kiss rock and roll all night.
That was a good night. That was a good night. We'll have to do that again.
Yeah. That was so fun. Number 2, this is the song I was talking about from the Sky Bar when everybody was on the tables dancing. Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
Everybody sings the chorus.
Yep, that was on my list too. Yes.
Sketch.
There's a lot.
You really monopolize. You did what I always do. Kind of rigged the way I do the list. You kind of monopolize bum rush my list tonight.
I just have impeccable taste, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on there.
Good musical sense.
And I
just go
I couldn't stop. You're like, what's your favorite song? I'm like, just one. What? There's so many good
14
ones.
songs later, I'm like, I got it. We're good. Okay, yeah. We're good.
And another one.
Losing my signal.
All right, what do we have for number one?
What do you think what do you think it is?
I
do a joke about it, but I can't do it because it's not politically correct and I get in trouble. But you know, one of my favorite singers of all time.
I was gonna say you have a joke about J-Lo, but that's not rock.
I got so many jokes about it. I'm a frustrated rock star. That's why.
Not what's that?
The Sopranos.
From The Sopranos. Oh no, I'm completely
lost. They used
lost.
it in the final episode. Everybody, it's like the number one, probably biggest anthem. The lead singer now, the band doesn't have the original lead singer. They have another Asian lead singer, Filipino lead singer.
What's the?
You got it.
I know the song. Everybody sings it, and it's always at the football game. Now I feel bad.
Don't stop.
Yes, don't stop believing.
Number one, I'd say rock anthem.
Yes,
I could be wrong, but
okay.
According to my polls, we polled probably 3 people.
Yeah, that's the one that I have a mashup of because it was getting a little hectic there. Yeah, I've got a few different mashups.
With that one?
Yeah, I think I even have one with I have a mashup with Ludacris. It's either that song or it's a song by Metallica. I have a lot of like rock, hip hop mashups.
I love mashups.
And anyone who loves rock music and loves hip hop should get the Judgment Night soundtrack. And there's a version of Free Fallin' on there with Tom Petty that he does with a cool little hip hop band. But
Judgment Night? Is that with Denzel?
No, that was who else in that?
With Ethan Hawke? What was that one?
There's like 5 guys in that movie, I think, where it's like their RV breaks down in like South Central and they have to try and get back to Maine.
Is it a comedy?
No, it's not a comedy. This is not a comedy.
To be?
No. Some parts were funny, but it's more because it was cheesy. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. I liked it.
All right.
But I like the soundtrack.
We'll check that out.
But we got a killer
do a
lineup.
mashup at our closing tonight.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to rock it?
I'm ready to rock it. You ready to rock it?
I'm ready to rock it. I said rock 9 times just now, by the way.
Hey, I was like, there's a little Herbie Hancock right there. We
got to talk about Herbie Hancock. One of the reasons I got kicked out of Kentucky is at a pep rally. I posted a picture once. I'm rapping to a pep rally, and we had a big football game, and I was the president of the class. I think I've talked about this before, when I could just go out and speak if I wanted to. Like, I'm going to fire up the crowd, man. And I just started rapping. And you see, there's a picture of me with the football players behind me going, what's this have to do with the football game tonight? All right, y'all, we got an amazing show tonight. We're going to rock the double wide. I say rock one more time, I'm going to be drunk and the show hasn't even started because that's a drinking word. But anyway, we got a guy that was in radio for 11 years. He's written a bunch of books, I think like 4 or 5 books. He's back. He's in the comedy game. I think he went back to Ohio. He's going to tell me what's going on in the comedy world right now. Very funny guy, Mr. Lou Santini. Here he is. I think he won the Burbank Comedy Festival. There he is.
Cool.
And one of my oldest buddies in the game, from way back, we got so many stories. The guy that brought me out of retirement, New Jersey's bad boy, Mr. Mike Marino.
All right. This is going to be a fun episode.
Look 16 there. Look at that.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Let's kick it. Little AC/DC right there. Bring it up, some rock. Because that's the theme tonight. My buddy coming on first. He spent 11 years in rock radio. He interviewed over 300 badass rock stars. I'm sure he's got some stories. He's written about 27 more books than I have, including Weird Conversations with His Mom. I just bought one of his books today, as a matter of fact. And he's got some great stories. He's a funny ass comedian. He's won many, many awards. And give it up for my buddy, Mr. Lou Santini.
It is a pleasure to be here, sir. Let me tell you, man. I've been looking forward to this all week. I really have.
All right, cool, man. Well, thank you.
And I even wore the fringe motorcycle jacket that I wore back in the day when it actually fits better now that I've filled out a little bit.
Guess you're living on a prayer jacket.
That's right. That's right. And having read your book recently and talked about it on my podcast, I'm like, well, I have to wear this jacket now. I didn't know we had that much in common. I really didn't.
I know it's crazy because a lot of us comics, I think we have like a little shady past. And Richard Pryor said the best comedy comes from tragedy. It comes from pain. So you
Right.
can channel that. And I've had so many, rock stars and comedian friends go, man, our childhood was messed up, but we use that. We use that as material.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say this before we even get started. I mean, you and I wouldn't say we're closest of friends. I actually met you for the first time when you used to book that show at Miyagi's on Sunset.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way back in the day. I think I did that show 5 or 6 times, and then of course did one of the last shows I did in Los Angeles before I moved back to my home state of Ohio was one of your shows there at the Haha in North Hollywood. But I can say this without reservation. There's very few comedians that I know personally that I really admire. And having read your book and learning things about you that I had not known, considering where you came from and your perseverance, that's a real admirable quality. And I really mean this. I wish we would have hung out more and we could have been closer when I lived out there. But,
Thank you.
that's I just had to get that off my chest, man. I really
buddy.
admire your work ethic.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And the stuff about what I did in the 90s, I needed the money. So please don't dwell on that.
And you still could be the most fit comedian I've ever known personally.
No, there's some Joe Rogans. There's a lot of pretty.
Yeah, but I don't know
comics.
him. I know you. So, so I don't know.
Okay.
Him I know you. So, so you get
Plus,
the
he's got a little enhancement help. I think but that's all right. You can still kick our butt. No, you're buff too, bro. I see you. You're hitting the gym.
I do all right. I go 3 times a week, and I've always played. I think it's important that as an adult, you still play. You compete. You get dirty. You get cut up and bruised up. So I've always been on a softball team, a soccer team, a flag football team, something where you have to compete. You do a little trash talking. You get dirty. Use muscles. Gym muscles that help you move a couch, but you gotta compete a little bit. So I just finished up an indoor soccer league, and I just started up a new softball team out here in Ohio.
So you did soccer?
I played soccer for 10 years and I had a tryout with a semi-pro team when I was younger. And I actually am now the stadium announcer and halftime show host of the return of the Cleveland Crunch pro indoor soccer team. And the Crunch was actually the first pro team in Cleveland to win a championship, and they won 3 of them. But then the league disbanded, then they came back, and then now they're back for good. And they are legit. They are legit. And I got to tell you, it's one of the few things left on that box I have to tick of things I've done in entertainment. And I've done play-by-play broadcasting for soccer, but I've never been the guy in the stadium screaming goal and, doing the team lineups and going out in the field and doing the halftime show with kids and adults and stuff. And I'm telling you, man, it is so much fun.
That's amazing. Did you have that gig lined up before you moved back?
Yeah, that's a great story in itself. So I had 2 friends that I worked with when I first started radio in Ohio way back when. And one of them is the sports editor for the Canton Repository newspaper. And another buddy of mine is a reporter. When I still lived in Ohio, when I still had a Twitter account, they actually, one of the reporter actually mentioned that he heard a rumor that the Cleveland Crunch was returning to Cleveland. So I jump on it. I still hadn't decided yet if I was moving back to my home state, but I jumped on it. I just emailed the CEO and the president. And that's definitely something I got from your book. Because I'm like, man, he and I are a lot alike. And just like, yeah, I'm not going to him-haw around. I was like, go right to the source, make the call. What's the worst that could happen? They can say no, right?
What the hell?
So I told him, I said, look, I don't know if these jobs are taken yet. I said, but I've got the broadcasting experience. I know the game. I've called the game before. I've played the game. And I said, whether you need a broadcaster or a stadium guy, when that time comes, please keep me in mind. So then I doubled down, and every time they signed a new player, I would go on Facebook or Instagram, wherever they posted, and be very specific in how I would announce them if I were the stadium announcer, complete with giving them a nickname, right? And by the 10th player, they said, you know what? Give us your number. So I talked to them on the phone once I moved back, and they said, you're our guy. That was it. That was over the phone. Yeah.
So you didn't have that lined up until you got back.
Right.
Wow. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's a good time. And they're leading the division. They're the best team in the league.
You got to know your stuff about soccer. I mean, you got to.
Yeah, you got to know. Well, that's the beauty of if you're calling the game. No joke. The rule book for professional football is like this thick, but the rule book for soccer is like 11 pages.
Really?
There's not a lot of rules. So once you've memorized who the players are and get their pronunciation of the names right, and you have a general idea of strategy and stuff, it's easy. It really is easy. It's for a fast moving guy like me, it's the perfect sport, especially to call it.
Have you ever trash talked a player and then you heard about it afterwards?
No, but not my own team. But with the beauty of it is like when the other teams, when my team scores, I'm like, goal, I'm letting it rip. I'm like, rocket goal, Cleveland, and I give the player's name and their nickname, and they play this, this killer sound effect. When the other team scores, it's like goal, Stevie.
Whatever.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're not gonna kiss their butts, so you're professional, but you don't go over the top. You save that for the home fans.
Yeah, that's awesome. I met the guy. He's a doctor actually, whose son is the one in the World Cup or whatever. It says go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I met him, and he wanted his son to be a doctor also. Then his son's like, Dad, I don't want to do that. I want to be a. He's like, he said he was crushed. Like his son didn't. But now at the World Cup, he's like behind his son. He's like, yeah, goal. I taught him that.
Attending a World Cup game would definitely be on my bucket list. Because, I mean, I've always said this. I mean, and I like most sports, but when it comes to soccer and the World Cup, it's, in my opinion, the only true world title. Because they always say, the Cleveland Indians are the world champions. Like, well, they didn't play the world. They played the United States. Same with the Super Bowl, same with hockey, same with basketball.
Bombay, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, the Olympics, you have that, of course, but that's once every 4 years. That's not really a league, but I watched a World Cup game in a British pub, the United States playing England. And I was the only American in that pub, along with my mother. And I, of course, had a few pints in me. And there was this guy who was just all roided out, and I start mouthing off to him. It was just friendly trash talk,
Yeah.
And my mom leans over. She's like, "Do you think we're going to win this game? Because England is, they invented the game."
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think we're going to win. I said, but is a tie, or if we're at least the last team to score, would be really good. I no sooner say that within like 5 minutes, England scored on us. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long day. But then we scored. But here's the best part. Then we scored, and the referee took the goal away, and he didn't know that the parabolic mic was on him. And the players are like, why is that not a goal? And he says, because I said so.
Nice.
And that referee got banned from the World Cup for the rest of the league, but they never gave him the goal back. But we did wind up tying England. So it was a tie by the end. Me and that big dude were hugging it out. We're having beers or whatever. Nice.
You had your bouncer there. You had your mom, your bodyguard.
Yeah, right. You can't hit me. My mom's right behind me at 5'1", so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure my mom could still kick some ass. She had that mom that, I grab a lamp and hit somebody in the head if I need to.
Yeah, going by your book, I wouldn't be surprised that, and now that I've read your book cover to cover, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Thank you for reading that, buddy.
Dude, it was great, and I plugged it on my show as well. It was a good book.
Thank you. Yeah, please plug your show at the end here too, because you mentioned me, but I want you to. But you were in rock radio for 11 years, and you interviewed a lot. I love I love stories. I love rock stories. And the picture I just showed, I'm working on a project with Sebastian Bach, and just being a fly on the wall and hearing his stories, especially after a couple of glasses of vino, you get some, like, that's what it's all about, the backstories. And you said Quiet Riot was probably the best interview you ever did?
No question. Now, admittedly, I did not interview them in their prime, but it was shortly thereafter. I mean, I just have to say this too. Quiet Riot, in my opinion, you just posted something on Facebook. You said what's your favorite hard rock anthem of all time. I always say Mental Health by Quiet Riot. Bang
Put
your
you at
head.
number 7. You got that. You made the list.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I always thought if there were to be an official heavy metal national anthem, that should be it. There are songs that are heavier, maybe even more well-known, but Quiet Riot was the first heavy metal band to have a #1 album ever.
Yeah.
And
people
know it's hair band or whatever. Most heavy metal bands have long hair. They didn't do it super big, but I mean, they weren't about the look, they were about the music. So, they were the first heavy metal band to have a #1 album. And by the way, that song, Come On, Feel the Noise, right? It was a remake. One take.
Really?
Yep. Kevin DeBrow did not want to sing that. He goes, I don't want to do a cover. And they said, come on, just do it. He goes, nope, not doing it. He goes, all right, fine. Roll tape. You got one shot at this. So the song you hear on the radio today is one take, mixed, done. That's it. So, so Quiet Riot, I was working at Rock 107 in Canton, Ohio, and I'm going to say it's like 1990. So, I mean, Come On, Feel the Noise is like 84, 85, and Mental Health. So they were still, you know, a force. They'd had their third or fourth album out. So I was on at that time, 7 to midnight. So by 5 o'clock, the station's pretty much empty. Salespeople are gone. You know, there might be the other DJ who hasn't got off the air yet. I'd get there about 5, do some commercials till 6, prepare for my show at 7. And I knew they were coming down to the studio, not over the phone. They were coming down because they were performing that night. It was Carlos Cavazo and Kevin DeBrow. And this is back in the day when we played albums, CDs, and carts. They kind of look like 8-track tapes, but they're 4-track.
Yeah. Yep.
So great interview. You're always worried about like rock guys. Are they going to swear? Are they going to drop an F-bomb in the middle of, of the show, whatever? They were total pros. So we're rolling into commercial and they just start going through the albums in the studio. And I'm the only one there now. Everyone's gone for the day. It's well past 8 o'clock or so. And they said, can we play anything in here? And normally you have to stick to the format. Just because it's in the radio station doesn't mean it's necessarily being played on the air.
Yeah.
But I'm like, my ratings are too high and I'm getting paid too little. So what are they going to say? So I told him, I said, you know what? If it's in this room, we're playing it. So he whips out some Humble Pie and some Bad Company and some all this other stuff and some old stuff that we weren't necessarily playing.
Yeah.
And what was more fun than just breaking format and playing I Don't Need No Doctor by Humble Pie was hearing Kevin DeBrow sing it just to himself while he's going through the album collection and stuff. And he's he's singing from his nuts. You know what I mean? He's like Sebastian Bach. He's got some pipes.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I just kind of quietly lean over and just pop that microphone open so he doesn't know we're on the air. So you're getting Humble Pie in the background while he's just ripping it up.
The best.
And so it was super cool. So then, of course, we go see the show that night. About 2,500 people. Again, past their prime chart-wise, but I mean, didn't lose us. Crushed it, but probably sounded better. So it was my first chance to go back to the hotel with the band. I'm like, when I read your book, I said, I got to tell them this story because, the debauchery you think you're going to see, you're going to think it's going to be naked women swinging from the chandeliers. And I get there, they order salad, low-fat dressing. They're all clean and sober. The women were, I'm thinking, I get women better than this. But they were still super cool. I don't play any instruments. Carlos Cavazo hands me his guitar and he just, I get a picture of that. So I'm just playing around with his guitar, and musicians are very territorial about their instruments too.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were just the coolest guys. And then I later I moved to California, no joke. I'm working out of the gym in Woodland Hills. I'm looking at this guy in the treadmill. He's kind of scrawny, hair down to his butt. I'm like, I swear that's Rudy Sarzo. That's Rudy Sarzo. White Snake, Quiet Riot. Sure enough, no joke. Before I can walk up and my hair used to be, down the middle of my back. By the time I met him, it was where it is now. I'm walking towards him. He goes, "Aren't you a radio DJ?"
Nice.
It had to have been easily 15 years after the fact.
Wow. He's a really sweet guy.
Yeah. And then we just wound up talking and working out together and stuff. And I said, he said, you weren't in the studio, but I interviewed, Kevin and Carlos. I said, but he goes, oh no, I remember when we hang out. That was a great show. I mean, just the nicest guy. It was so cool.
He's the nicest guy. We had him on the show here like 2 months ago. And
is that right?
I got him to talk about Randy Rhoads. I just pushed it. I didn't tell him I was going to bring it up. I just wanted to see if he would, and he did. It was very emotional because they were such good buddies,
Yeah.
And he was there when Randy Rhoads got killed. But no, he's a great guy. I love that we both love rock, buddy. And so you moved, you left, you jumped ship here. You went back to Cleveland, where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, by the way.
That's right. That's right. And the last radio station I worked at was instrumental in getting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Cleveland at WMMS, the Buzzard. Now, I was not working there at the time. However, it takes forever to go through red tape, and then, you have to find the plot of land and construction. So I got to walk through the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wearing the hard hat while it was still being built. Nice. I was the second DJ on the planet to broadcast from the radio station that they have in there. And I actually am, I would have to say it's one of my few bragging points. I actually have to remind myself, I was actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as part of the exhibit a long time ago. One of my fans, who now is a friend of like 25 years, I was still living in LA. She goes, hey, are you visiting Ohio anytime soon? I said, actually, I'm performing out there at my hometown club coming up. She goes, well, you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, about every 3, 4, 6 months, or even a year, will change specialty temporary exhibits. Maybe a salute to heavy metal, a salute to British metal, salute to Motown, whatever. They were doing a salute to the radio station that made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame possible. So it was a history from the early 70s to present day. So sure enough, my mom and I go there, and you're not supposed to take pictures, but of course I have to kind of look around and get like, Mom, quick picture me pointing at myself, because we were part of what's called the next generation. So no joke, I'm looking at all the exhibits and there's my picture, and there's some random strange guy next to me, and he's just making small talk, and he goes, Lou Santini. Never liked that guy.
Really?
So, and then he does this. He's looking at, because in my picture, I had kind of a mullet, and I was wearing this jacket probably in the shot. And he looks over and he goes, I don't know why I said that. I'm really sorry. And I said, hey man, it's cool. I don't expect everyone to like everything I did. He goes, no, I listen to you literally every day going to and from work. But for some reason, to be conversational, I said that stupidity. So he was like, I apologize. Like, really, not a big deal.
I just thought you would join in, as a mutual hater.
He does suck, doesn't he?
That's crazy. Well, congratulations, man. That's very cool. You got a shot of that, you and Mom's, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
The Bluegrass Hall of Fame is in my hometown, Owensboro, Kentucky.
Is that right?
Yep.
Now, the only bluegrass I've ever seen is 2 different bands. One called the Young Blades of Bluegrass when I was a real little kid, and Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, yeah, he kicks ass on banjo. Chris Stapleton was in a bluegrass band. The Steel Drivers, and Bill Monroe's from my hometown, right outside in the country there.
Oh, I know that name. You play how many instruments?
What's that? How
many instruments do you play?
Me, I only play like a kick ass on the tambourine, number 1.
I've seen that.
Air tambourine. A little bit guitar. I grew up playing drums. I'm not really a musician. I'm a
because I've seen like photos of you holding your guitar, and then your book, you're holding the guitar or whatever. So I just didn't know.
I can really hold the guitar.
You didn't really talk about your proficiency. So I'm like, is he humble about it? Is he just not?
No, I'm not humble. I wouldn't be humble. I'd be like, I'm one of the top. See these top 10 lists every week. I'd be in there. But anyway, all right, buddy. How's the comedy back there? You just did a special, right?
Yep. I just actually, what's funny is I as soon as I got back here, Sam Tripoli was headlining Hilarities up in Cleveland. And he knew that I'm from here, and he got wind that I moved back, and he calls me and goes, hey, do you want to gig with me? So I did my first gig with him there at my return. And then I've done a special clean comedy show. Then they had a special Home for the Holidays, meaning all comics from Northeast Ohio did that one. Then I just featured 4 shows with Chris Frangiola, who is just insanely witty and hilarious. And here's the funny part. So Frangiola and I have the same birthday after talking, and we're hanging out. It's the last show. We did 4 shows together. It's after the late show Saturday. In walks Brett Ernst. And it's like, how is this possible? He's performing at a theater in Lorraine, and he just thought he'd swing by because he knew we were there. So he got 3 guys from LA hanging out in this Cleveland club at the same time. I thought that was weird. So then the following week, just last weekend, I flew to Salt Lake City, and I taped my Dry Bar comedy special there. So
that was awesome, buddy. When's that coming out?
What's that?
When are we going to see that?
That's a good question. I asked them what the turnaround is on that. They have like newer technology now, so they said it's faster. So I'm going to say anywhere from 1 to 3 months. Right. I'll say 1 to 3 months. You'll probably see that on there. But it was, you do 2 shows, you got to work clean, which is no problem because I do a lot of corporate stuff as well. And that was a good time. The building that they tape in was a bank like in the 1800s. Nice. And then it became a disco. And now it's a comedy club.
All right. Comedy disco. I'm trying to bring back some comedy disco.
Good idea. Good crossover. Hey, if they had the rock and wrestling connection back in the 80s, why can't we have comedy disco?
Why not? I did Rock Stars of Comedy. Sam and Brett were both in that DVD. So, so buddy, what was your hell yeah moment would you say in comedy?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if I've ever been asked that.
I should have told you I was going to ask that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I like that. That makes me think. Because I mean, there's some stuff you want to prepare for. I mean, I've interviewed so many people.
But what's the most proud moment?
One of I hate to say, oh, it's a tie, but it is. My first standing ovation. That was at the Comedy Showcase in Houston, Texas, and I don't think that club's around anymore. But you know how sometimes you get a standing O. You think, well, the only reason everyone stood up is because some guy in the front stood up, but everyone felt pressured.
This I don't know that. No, Lou, I actually do not know the feeling. But go ahead.
No. It's magical. Well, anyway, the reason I knew it was legit is because the standing O started in the back of the room. So there was no way from anyone in the front to know what was happening. It just kind of was very, I hate using the word organic, but it was real legit. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't get choked up because I had never had a standing ovation before. Plus I was headlining. It was my first year of being a headliner at that time.
Okay.
So the second one was probably, it was at my hometown club. It's called the Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls.
Okay.
And my mom has come to every show that she can attend when I'm in town. And I always make fun of her. I call her out. You know, I've even brought her up on stage before to tell, a street joke or something. So I brought her up on stage, and a buddy of mine, Mike Gersh, who's a fellow comedian, local guy here in LA. He's also in Ohio, rather. He's an amateur photographer. He took this great shot of us facing the crowd from the stage with the spotlights in the right spot, and it is now the cover of one of my books, another 101 Weird Conversations with Mom.
You mean
that's it right there?
That's nice.
Yeah. That's from the stage of the Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls, and I have that picture hanging up in my place, and my mom has a large one printed up and hangs up in her house too.
Awesome. It's a cool story. You just remind me of my mom flew out. It's the first time she'd ever been on an airplane. I may have mentioned this in the book for my wedding. It's the first time she'd ever been on a plane, and my name was on the marquee at the Laugh Factory.
Right.
And she came out and stayed a few days and went back, and I said, Mom, what was your favorite part of the trip? She goes, well, I liked when your name was up on that sign. I'm like, I also got married last week, Mom. That was kind of, that should have been when your name.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, buddy. Tell them where they can see you, man. I loved you stopping by and rock the double wide.
Of course. No, you can go to lousantini.com. You can check out my podcast, Amateur Nation. And you can find that like in 60 different platforms, but the big ones, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Google. And you can also check out, I have 4 books available on Amazon, 101 Weird Conversations with Mom, another 101 Weird Conversations with Mom, and my passion project, Amateur Nation, The Decline of Common Sense, Manners, and Social Skills, which is based on my stand-up and, of course, led to the podcast that is actually kind of blowing up. I got some big news coming up. I really wish I could tell you and scoop it on your show, but I just can't. I promise. So it'll happen in about 3 weeks.
Okay, when the ink dries, come back on and do a
100%.
Reveal here.
100%.
All right, brother. Thanks for stopping by the Double Wide.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me, man. Best of luck to you,
Mr. Lou Santini, everybody. Good job, buddy. All right, y'all. Another rock anthem, little Aerosmith. We'll Dream On. I can't believe Walk This Way didn't make it on the top 10. That should have made it on the top 10 tonight. I don't know if our guests saw it, but we did a top 10 rock anthems. I'm going to ask him his. He studied acting at a school I can't even pronounce, Herbert Bergeroff or something. We'll talk about that. He's been in over 200 commercials. One of the baddest comics out there. Tonight show. All of his clips have gone viral. One of my oldest buddies in comedy, New Jersey's bad boy, Mr. Mike Marino.
Well, hey, man. Thank you so much.
Mason jar.
You are who you are to the bone, man. I thought I was Guido to the bone, but I'm missing a few things. Check you out.
No, you're legit. Look at this Guido shirt. You're legit.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. I got this one, too.
It's like a custom made Marino 2024.
I've been running for president for 30 years.
I like that you're Guido. You're like legit that you do your show from your mom's basement, and you like the Z28 IROX, and I'm white trash. I do the double wide trailer and the Trans Ams. Best of both worlds, brother.
Yeah. I love both ends of the spectrum. I think it's funny. And I've been doing my G.I. Joe doll series, so you need to get in there with me. Like Camping Joe or some shit.
We did, yeah, I did, it was like Bambi and her cousin Bubba, but they were second cousins, but they were engaged.
That's
She was
hilarious.
pregnant, came with a carton of Marlboros and the double wide trailer.
You could probably find a little thing of Marlboro cigarettes and put it on the arm, roll it in.
Nice. I love your Barbie. Where Barbie had the tramp stamp on the back. Your joke.
Yes, that's a good joke. Every once in a while, I feel like I enjoy some of my own jokes.
I love it. I love that you and I both have a good time on stage. We laugh because we know that we're having fun, man. We've been
doing
silly.
it a long time. You know what I've been thinking? I don't know if you think about this too, but you know, we really had to cut our teeth every night somewhere. And you think about, we used to make flyers and posters and banners and beg people to come to the show. Now these kids, they just do a stupid video and hundreds of people show up.
It's insane. I used to go to the gym and I'd have flyers in my gym bag and I would see like a rock star, an actress, and I'd beg them like, hey, I remember I saw Benny Medina, who was the executive producer of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I got to know him at the gym a little bit and I would beg him, dude, please just come to my shows. Here's a flyer. And he's like, please don't give me a flyer in the gym. I don't have any pockets, bro. But I remember I was working out one time. You're going to like this story. You just reminded me. I was working out with Jersey's most famous rock star. I was working out with the boss, Beverly Hills Health and Fitness on Beverly in Orlando. Really? And he would come down by himself. And we didn't have a set time, but if I was working out, he was working out. He was a strong dude. And so we would hit some weights and kind of work in together. But people would lose their shit when they would see him. Like literally, like that's the boss. He didn't have an entourage. He's just working out. But a guy came up one time, Mike, to Bruce, and he got to know his route. Like when he was coming in, he would come in around 10:30. So the guy planned it. He brought an 8x10 picture of a chopper, of a motorcycle, and he went up to Bruce. We're working out. He goes, hey, boss. My brother has a bikes shop. He makes custom bikes in Jersey, and he made this bike. And Bruce is like, I don't know what I don't know what you want me to do about it, And he goes, I want you to have this picture. And Bruce is like, I didn't want to hurt the guy's feelings. So he took the 8x10 glass, and the guy walks up. He's like, what the fuck am I going to do with the 8x10? We're doing the bench press, man. So the guy gives him an 8x10 picture of a motorcycle because he was just in awe. He was just like starstruck, didn't know what to do. But you and I cut our chops coming up.
Yeah, man. You think about all the places you performed, all the crazy, from bars to pizza places to coffee houses. I don't think any of that really even exists anymore because somebody could actually just make a TikTok and that's their open mic.
Yeah. I mean, you probably, when you're out here, drive by places that are now like, selling chicken wings or, whatever the hell they are. And you're like, I think I did comedy there in 94 and it was a coffee shop.
I wonder what that's like. I mean, I would never want to do that again because it was a pain in the ass, but that is where you learned how to take a beating. Because if you remember all the comedians lining up with a book, little ripped up things, they do 5 minutes and then get in a car and split and go to another one. And then you'd show up at the next one and he'd be getting off that stage. You tried to hit like as many as you could in one night.
Dude, we'd go to Venice, Santa Monica, Hollywood, wherever the hell we can get a spot, maybe 3 spots in a night.
And they were there.
And they were there. They'd be at the next one. And you would sign up and wait for your time to go up. You and I used to do maskers on 3rd Street.
Yeah.
That's where we really got to be buddies.
I always wonder what happened with those 2 knuckleheads.
I hope they're okay, man.
Yeah.
They would always get mad at me because they were trying to run like a nice like restaurant with pasta. And I'd go up and go, smells like chicken wings in here. It smells like.
Did you guys microwave this macaroni?
Yeah.
That's
marinara. It tastes like Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. And it was expensive too. And they were always in a hurry. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Probably some after club thing going on, shooting porns or something.
Yeah, they used to do crazy shows there, but we were there every Tuesday night for almost 8 years.
Yeah, it was a while.
8 years.
You're the ones responsible for bringing me out of retirement. I was minding my own business out here in the double wide in the valley.
I'm getting ready to do it again.
You know,
we're back, baby.
Next Wednesday night, Mike and I will be at the Ha in North Hollywood. And the very last time I performed live, Mike, was our show at the Ha just a couple nights before shutdown.
Wow. Talk about
that was Friday night. Yeah, so that was Friday night. Everything closed out on Sunday. Even when we got to the show Friday night, if you remember, it was down to like 25 capacity. The radio was saying you can't be in any public venue with more than 25 people.
But nobody had 150 on, and it was kind of strange and awkward. And I think it was March 13th. I don't know why I keep thinking of the date.
Yeah, it was something like that. Have you performed? Have you performed since? Because you've been back for a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you had to wear a mask or a shield?
The people in the audience were wearing masks. People on stage were just, behind some plexiglass. And then people were far away, depending on where you went, because in Florida, they don't even know there's a pandemic. They don't. Like, we are.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Have a Mai Tai, listen to some Jimmy Buffett, you'll be fine.
Yeah. And then there was places in New Jersey, but they were doing it outdoors, which made it legal. But it's really the same crap anyway.
Yeah. They kept changing the rules. Even the Ha opened it. We talked about for a couple of weeks in the summer, like July. But then they're like, no, you're laughing, you're having fun. We can't have that. Dangerous. Laughing's dangerous.
I think you got to have some respect for a guy named Jack Asadorian and his wife for running a comedy club the best they knew how. And if it's any constellation to anybody, it's like a mom and pop comedy store that never became a chain where there's 2 of them and 3 of them and 4 of them. They did the right thing. Yeah. And I miss it. Yeah. I love it. And I hope it doesn't go out of business. And I hope we can go in there and reclaim our fame.
We're going to kill it next Wednesday night. You and I and Jacqueline Marfuji.
It's going to be sick. We don't even need anybody else on the show. It's going to sell out. There's going to be a fight. People are going to want to get in and they can't. I just was doing my podcast before I came on your show like this, and everybody's writing in that they're going to get tickets. And I tell everybody, look, we can't do the comp thing because of the pandemic. And they all said, you know what? It's understandable. These poor people didn't earn any money. And as far as I'm concerned, they can even have my money. I don't want that club to close.
No. I think they're going to be fine. They rode out the storm. They're coming back strong. Every named comedian's been through those doors, and they're good people. We're going to have a kick-ass show next week. Hope they play some disco for us. I'm going to get up there and do some hair. I haven't got to do a hair flip in over a year, Mike. I'm going to be 90% of my acts is going to be hair flips. I'm just letting you know right now.
I haven't done a hair flip in 30 years.
I know you were texting me the other night. I was like, dude, I'm getting my hair cut. And he's like, that's all right. You back in the Jersey when you had the Shore House. You were the original Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
You had the mullet kicking. You're out there.
Well, my friend
Z
Cavaricci's and Capizios, and yeah, boy, I missed that Guido mullet. I think the Guido mullet was a little different than a hillbilly mullet.
Yeah, I think it's the same. We're cut of the same cloth, brother.
We had a little more gel.
I think I put a perm in the back of my mullet.
Yeah.
The Kentucky waterfalls. It was like
I love watching you dance on your videos from back in the day, dancing to like Marky Mark with your
oh yeah,
your
come on
with
looking for a picture of my mullet.
Yes, jacket.
Still rocking those. What are you talking about?
Come on, feel it.
Best. I just did a video with my kids like 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about? Back in the day.
Yeah, your kids are great, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
They must be
glad you're back, man.
They're so lucky they have a crazy ass father.
I'm like a crazy uncle that gets a little bit of time with the kids, and you're like, whew, okay, that was just 4 hours on a Saturday, but
I'm glad they're not
stuck with me 24/7. They're stuck with me.
Is that a beanbag chair behind you?
Of course. Isn't that awesome? This was the same trailer you did in Hollywood like 5 years ago, right?
That is so cool.
Thank you, brother.
Who's the guy
My
with the
producer,
gun?
my producer is my interior decorator here. She did all this.
He's good.
So,
You got your Coca-Cola. Oh, there's a baseball bat. Does that belong to somebody else?
that should be yours, man. New Jersey's bad boy.
Did I leave that there?
Where's that? Last time you were over.
Are those Adidas sneakers?
Of course, old school. Look at those shell toes. And a toolbox. Hell yeah.
You just need
That's what
Barbie
we do,
dolls
buddy.
for walking by. Get me out of here.
You still playing the drums, right?
I was, yeah. They're all set up in my house in New Jersey, so every day I go down there and I waste 3 minutes.
Do you? Is that like therapy? They said Johnny Carson used to play the drums to work out some like anger, hostility.
I think so. It does. You get to bang, and pisses people off in the neighborhood.
Nice.
I enjoy it. I'm not really that good, but I got stiff. When you get older, you get stiff.
Because your brother's in a rock band, right?
My older brother's in a trio. He plays
Yeah.
like old school tunes and stuff like that. He's got a great voice. He could sing like you have no idea. It's really unbelievable.
Bring him out, buddy. Let's do a big rock and comedy show.
Yeah, would like to do that. I'll do anything. It's time to get back in gear, get on stage, make people happy, make people laugh, make a couple of dollars, meet some people.
We're have a good time next Wednesday night. What's the date on that, Mike?
May 12th, 8 o'clock, Ha Ha Comedy Club, Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood.
There you go. Jackson, he's so happy. All right, buddy. What was your hell? I know you've done a lot of amazing things. You're on the Tonight Show, which I never hit that mark. So I'm proud of you. And when you did the Byron Allen show, your Bin Laden bit that went like crazy millions. You guys look that up on YouTube.
Yeah, I never did stand-up on the Tonight Show. I was on the Tonight Show for like 10 years. I was always doing sketch comedy.
Your sketch comedy, yeah.
It was kind of torturous because all I ever wanted to do was do stand-up. And every time they called me, it was to do a sketch. And then it was kind of like, well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I want the paycheck and I want to be on the show.
Yeah, yeah. Who did warm-up? Do you remember? We probably knew who was doing the warm-up. Was
Jimmy
it
Brogan.
Dreesen? Who
No,
was it?
I think it was
Rogan.
Jimmy Brogan.
Jimmy Brogan. That's right. Jimmy Brogan.
He did warm
looks
up.
like-
And then there was another guy too. He was good friends with Jay, but he didn't do that much. They only came out for like 5 minutes and they would shoot T-shirts through a cannon into the audience and people would go crazy.
Oh, nice. I used to do that with a bikini contest down in Florida.
Right.
Who wants a T-shirt? Yeah, Jimmy Brogan and Leno go back for years. That's right. Jimmy Brogan was always the guy. Yeah. So, Mike, let me ask you real quick, brother, before I let you go. What was your hell yeah moment in your whole career that you was like, all right, I did okay? What was your?
Paramount Theater, Asbury Park, New Jersey, 2007. 1,600 people, and they were screaming.
Nice. That's
I would
awesome,
say that was the one as far as stand-up was concerned, because my first time being in front of an audience that big. I had never seen that before.
That's awesome. And you're an accomplished actor. You've done over 200 commercials and tons of movies. I think I just saw you posting, you were just in a movie. Do you get more out of stand-up or acting?
Stand-up.
Do you?
Well, acting, man, you could say cut and do it again. Cut, do it again. Stand-up, we're live, baby. Do or die. Yeah. You're going down. Either that or you're going to kill. So, what would you rather do?
Well, I'm not an actor, and I've got a couple of films to prove it. I was at Sundance one year, and I was in two movies two movies. I was in Pauly Shore's movie, and the scene got cut. I didn't know it until I got there. And then I was in another movie. I was like, I'm a horrible actor, but they put me in movies to make the other actors look good, so they'll be noticed. And like next to this guy, he's got some chops.
Wow.
I don't know if you heard that the top 10 list this week was top 10 rock anthems. Do you have a number one rock anthem song that's your jam?
Well, I would go with Bruce Springsteen, and I like Born in the USA or Born to Run.
Nice. All right. Good ones.
Are they in the top 10?
They are now.
All right. Born to Run.
I didn't ask you, but yeah, that's a classic. That's I even like got a wife and kids in Baltimore, Jack.
I went out for a ride and I never went back.
I'm not gonna do like Bruce Fine and sing the whole song here, but yeah, I like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know that many songwriters like Bruce that came up with some unbelievable lyrics.
And I only hope he still has that picture of that motorcycle on his wall.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
All right, brother. I'm gonna see you next Wednesday at the Ha.
Can't wait.
All right, man. Same here. Thanks for
Thank you,
stopping
bud.
by the Doublehead, brother. Love you.
I love it. Thank you.
All right, man. See you, buddy. That was the Rock Show, y'all. Rocking the double wide. Come on, get happy hour. We kick it every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time-ish, YouTube and on Facebook. So jump on there on Stevie and his so-called friends page and follow us, like us, leave us comments, what you'd like the top 10 list to be, who you'd like to see on the show. I don't like to toot my own horn, but here's a book that Lou was talking about, the Trans Am Diaries. And we have another one, another book coming out very, very soon. So Sketch, once again, thank you so much.
This is
Take
fun.
us out with something real cool. Take us out with some cool beats, maybe a mashup.
Yeah, I think I'll throw in a little bit of rock because it was a rocking episode.
And you only dominated the top 10 list. You had like 4 out of 6 tonight. So you should
That's
be happy.
because I'm amazing and I got excellent musical taste.
You sure do. Everybody, thanks for watching. And leave us comments, like us, tell your friends. And thanks for stopping by the Double Wide. Come on, get happy, y'all.
Until next time.
And rock. The next time, and keep rocking.
You're in the mix with Judi Lou. You're in the mix with Judi Lou.
Hey, DJ,